What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. Things like movies and video games and comic books and TV shows. And right now, let's talk about the new Netflix original movie, Mary. So this is yet another retelling of the story of Christ's birth. We've had a lot of them over the years, and I mean a lot. Probably the best one in my mind is The Nativity. It's a movie that came out a number of years ago. It wasn't too long after The Passion of the Christ came out that The Nativity came out. And The Nativity is one that my wife and I watch every year, usually on Christmas Eve. We'll plug the kids will go to bed, and once the kids are in bed, so we'll watch something like The Grinch or something like that, and then the kids go to bed, and then my wife and I will pour ourselves a glass of wine, a glass of adult eggnog or something like that, and we'll sit back and we'll watch The Nativity. That's how we usually spend our Christmas Eve. So that's my favorite version. Last year, Journey to Bethlehem came out, a musical version. And it was okay. I liked it for what it was, you know, a lighthearted musical version. So this year we get another one. We get Mary. All right. This was one of the weaker versions to come out, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. The production values were there. You know, it looked period. Anthony Hopkins did a really good job of portraying King Herod. It really dove into just how bad of a person King Herod was, at least based on, you know, all the biblical stories. Herod was a pretty rotten guy. And this Anthony Hopkins did a really good job of conveying that in his performance. Just a very power-hungry, corrupt individual. This was also light on a lot of the things that we normally take for granted in the Christmas story, right? This was very light on the arc of the three kings. It left out a lot of the stuff with the shepherds. It left out a lot of the stuff with what happens to Mary now that she's pregnant. And when I say it left out a lot of it, some of it touched on more than others, but there was a lot of story that was normally included in the Christmas story that is left out here. And I think it was left out in the favor of realism, but then they start showing us angels and things like that, and it's like, okay, you are... One minute it seems like you're trying to tell a very secular version of the story, of, you know, what the history major version of the story, right? Like, well, if this happened, and we're going to assume that if this happened and we're going to make it secular, then we have to leave all this stuff out. But then they inject in, you know, Christianity stuff into it. It's like, okay, pick a lane, guys. I would be up for seeing a very secular telling of the Christmas story. I'd be up for that. I'm a Christian. I believe that the Christmas story is a supernatural event, but I would be up for watching a secular version of it. It doesn't threaten my faith or anything like that, so I'd be up for that. At times it felt like it was that, but then at times it was like, okay, you're interjecting the supernatural into it now. Why can't you interject it in? It just seemed very confused. Like, what version of this story are we telling? And because of that, the story felt very uneven. There was some, you know, some good performances. I felt like they really kind of did Joseph dirty a little bit in this one. They really kind of treated him very much as a secondary character. And yeah, I'm glad that I watched it, but it was a very confused film. And it's one of my least favorite of the stories, of the Christmas story movies. So take that for what you will. Like I said, it's not fully secular, but it's one of the more secular ones that I've seen. So, all right, guys, that's my take on it. I didn't love it. It wasn't the worst movie of the year or anything like that, but you know, I definitely won't be revisiting this one. I'll be going back to my tried and true, The Nativity. So, and maybe every couple years I'll watch Journey to Bethlehem, just because I like musicals. All right, guys, have you seen Mary? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.